Welcome to Chatty Circle. I'm your host, Xianfeng. Today, I'm excited to have Karen Dang with us to share a remarkable story of a Chinese Buddhist community in Quincy, Massachusetts. It is called Qianfo Si, Thousand Buddha Temple. Thousand Buddha Temple is a significant sanctuary of the Tiantai lineage, founded by the Venerable Abbess Quincy, a dedicated Buddhist nun from Hong Kong and a disciple of Venerable Yongxing. During the 1980s, the mostly Cantonese-speaking Chinese immigrants in the greater Boston area would have to drive 5 hours to New York to celebrate holidays at a Buddhist temple. When Venerable Quincy arrived in Boston, her presence quickly drew a devoted following. Today, Thousand Buddha Temple has not only become a cherished place of worship, but also a notable tourist destination. However, the journey to establish this revered institution was anything but easy. And Karen's story beautifully encapsulates the experiences of first-generation immigrants and the unique challenges faced by a minority religious community in the United States. Hi, Karen. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm born in South Vietnam under the capitalism country. I born in 1962 in an upper-class family. I'm one of the boat people. I left Vietnam in 1979, and by boat I landed in Malaysia, and I stayed in Malaysia refugee camps for 2 years. During that 2 years, we're waiting for a country who willing to take the refugee, and finally we migrate to Toronto, Canada, and lived there for 5 years. I went to high school and college over there, and finally I met my husband, who I know it back in the refugee camp in Malaysia, and we think that our relationship is quite good. So I got married. I moved to Boston in 1987.
What did you do after you moved into Boston?
First thing, I don't have my green card. I have to wait for it. During that 2 years, I went to school to complete my degrees, and I'm working in New England medical journals as an accounting clerk. And then 2004, I went to Minuteman High School to teach, and I love my job as a baking instructor. I have a lot of fun with a high school student. I'm very enjoy my job. Even I'm retired now, I still miss my job.
Can you tell us something about your relationship with the Thousand Buddha Temple, and how did you meet with Shifu to start with?
Well, it's back in, I not quite remember, it's way back, I think it's in the 1989 or 1990. My husband's sister-in-law's mother told me that that's the temple in Quincy. I said, wow, in Boston have a temple? So she said, yeah, but it's not like a temple. It's like a household. I said, okay. She willing to take me there. That's how I met Sifu. And I look at the Buddha statue. I feel very comfortable. I feel peace. And I also look at Sifu. She is very kind, and she taught me a lot. As one more important thing is she speak Cantonese and make me feel like, oh, just like back home, my great-grandmother brought me to the temple. I saw the Sifu, they speak Cantonese too, so I feel a way of reminding my homeland. I feel comfortable, so I start to go to Jinquangji. Almost every Sunday I will go there, and we have chanting, worship the Buddhas, But my Chinese is terrible. I only do side work. I didn't go up to do the training. But 6 months later, it's getting further down. We have more and more Buddhists. We have like almost 40 people, and we park the car. We do it in a legal way. There's where they say we can park the car, but we didn't realize this. We are in a residence. We're not supposed to gathering to pray. We think we did nothing wrong because we do good thing. We're praying. We're not drinking or dancing. But somehow our chantings, the voice too loud, disturbed the neighborhood on their Sunday peaceful morning, and they started to complain, but not directly to us. They called the police, and we get the police knock the door, and Sifu don't speak English. He said, "What's going on? We did not do anything wrong." I said, "Well, let me check." And they said, "Oh, you guys cannot gathering. This is a residence. It's not supposed to gather more than 20 people constantly on every Sunday and park the car." We say that we park the car where the signs say that we can park. We did not block anyone's driveway. They say, "No, that's not it is. This is in here. If you want to gathering together that constantly every Sunday, then you have to find a commercial place." We say, "What is a commercial place different than the residence?" They say, "Residence, you can have party once in a while, but not constantly every Sunday." That is the point. We cannot find the place right away, and we have to ask for real estate and other fellowship to help us out. During that time, if we have a ceremony, we have to rent a function hall in Chinatown and give us a very difficulty. We have to move the Buddhist statue out there and all the equipments and the channing's book.
Yeah, how big was the Buddha statue?
It's quite big. It's quite big. It's just like 5 feet tall.
Almost a person.
A little bit shorter than me. I shouldn't say compare the Buddhist statue to my height, but I'm 5'2", but it's 5 feet, so it's quite tall and quite heavy. I think it's almost like 80 to 100 pounds. We need 4 to 5 strong young men, and we have a rental car to carry it. It's a lot of work, but everybody's very happy, willing to do it, and that's how a lot of people doesn't even know that there's a temple we want to build in Quincy. We're finding a place. So a lot of people from Chinatown all over Boston come to that function hall. It's helped a lot when we need the donations and we need help. That's how we found a lot of volunteer people from Long Island, New Hampshire, even people from New York. It's a lot of people willing to help. We took whole year to find a place. First thing, we find one church. But Sifu say, "No, I want to build a traditional Chinese temple. Church cannot convert into this because the root, you have no way you can change it." So we walk around, we find a function hall, the roof is flat. She said, okay, she like it, but the price is not right. We keep looking and looking. After a year, we go back to the same place. The selling price is cutting in half. It's helping us a lot. Finally, we found the place today in Quincy at Mass Avenue. We rebuilt the whole thing. The inside the function hall we changed a little bit, but the rooftop we built a traditional Chinese temple's outlook. Is very, very close to the temple in China or in Hong Kong. We are very happy about it. We have a lot of people coming. Some of them is the Buddhists, but some of it newcomer. And we give people a place to pray as First Asian community. not only see Asian people speak the same dialect, but something is very familiar. Most of the people in Asia, they go to temple. In here, Boston, we never saw a temple. This is the first one. People feel so released and happy, and they feel comfortable to come. Almost every time we have a ceremony, we have more than 100 people. When we bought it, we have a meeting with the town, and they ask us how many people will come in. We tell them approximately 150 people each time, and they come in, they check it, make sure the building is safe and enough space for people to move around in case any emergency. I found that is very good thing to learn. It's not only we pray, but we only think about the safety of the people coming to the temple and enough space for them to move around in case anything happen. Of course, I hope it's nothing going to happen, but it's good to know the difference between residential and commercial. Not they discriminate because we are Asians or because they will build a temple, but it's for our safety and to keep the people in the resident area a piece of quiet. If I live as a resident around there, I will complain too. So I totally understand that. And I'm very peaceful to learn this is the totally difference in American law that's distinct is protect both sides, the residents and the commercial place.
That story of building a temple so that people have a place to go and pray reminds me of a story that you once told me about the Dr. Zhao Yisheng, who's an acupuncturist and who treats the Buddhist monastics for free, including myself.
Dr. Zhao Yisheng is a very nice lady. She don't have the time to come to the temple to pray because she's a doctor. She have to open, like, especially Saturday and Sunday, she do the acupuncture. In another way, she donate her service and her time to the monk. As the Buddhism, you don't have to go to the temple to pray all the time. But if you have time, you want to go, that is good. Even when you go to the temple like me, sometimes I do the volunteer job, I don't even have time to pray. But it doesn't mean I'm not. I can do the chanting at home. Let other newcomer come. They can chanting. The temple, they have all different practice. Some people like to chanting like me. And some people like to do meditations. We also have time for meditation too. And some people like to listen to the lecture. And we have monks talk about the lecture, about the citrus, because when you do the chanting, you just chanting. You can understand the surface wording, but you might not understand the deep meaning in it. Just like you read a book, you can understand it, but are you totally understand it? No. Sometimes it's good to have someone give you explanation. In Buddhism, we have 3 different ways for you to practice. You can pick the right way that you like. Some people don't like to chanting. They just like to sit there in meditations. I can do it once in a while, but I like the chanting. I like the bow and things. And also I like the lectures. Even my Chinese is not good, but I learn a lot. I like it. They have all different ways for you to practice at Buddhism.
What do you mean your Chinese is not good? Are you saying your Mandarin is a difference between the Mandarin versus Cantonese, or you're not reading the characters?
The character is not good because my Chinese, I only finished elementary school of the Chinese, then I left the country, so my Chinese is no good. I have to thank the Sifu that she taught me a lot because she told me to do the chanting. I tell her that I don't know Chinese. How am I going to do the chanting? She said, oh, then you can read it. If you don't understand, you ask me. I said, no. I give her a recorder. I said, why didn't you chanting? And then I record it. I take home. I can follow So recorder, I can follow whatever you're chanting. I would do it. It's easy that way because I can practice over and over again. That's how I learned too.
What were the regular events in the temple like? Was it the same since when you were in the Dingguangxi and the Southern Buddha Temple and in the 1 year in between?
Well, in the Dingguangxi is a residence. We only do the chanting, and we barely have the meditations because the space limitations. But in the Thousand Temple is quite big. Those we have enough room to do meditations, and very quiet. We have different rooms for teaching. And when we do chanting, we have a big function hall too, so it's quite different. That's why we have more activity in the Thousand Buddhist Temple than in the Dingguangxi.
What were your favorite?
It's when I saw people come in, do the chanting. They really put their minds into the chanting and forgot about themselves and willing to follow, because some of the follower, they know it, they can chanting faster. No, that is how you put your out to listen and pay attention to the leader monks when you do the chanting. If she do it fast, you follow her. If you do it slow, you have to do it slow. When she bow, you bow. That is everybody let themselves out, but really doing the chanting and the praying. That is deep in your mind to calm yourself down. Not like I do what I want. That is very important. Most people are saying, I'm right, I have to do my way. No. If you can let yourself go and you peacefully follow the monk, then you really calm yourself and you let it go. That's the most happy thing. And after the chanting, and I see people feel released and happy, that make me more happy than anything.
Do you think the experience of immigration, moving to Boston, has an influence on people's experience at a Buddhist temple like this?
Well, I think it did have the influence because more Asian country, China, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, the major belief is Buddhism. And when they come in a new place, they can see some familiar that they used to see. Just like when you go to Thailand, you will see a lot of Buddhist statue, but it doesn't mean everybody believes in Buddhism, but it's built in our mind since we was a kid. This is like so familiar, a comfort, like you go back to your home. That make people feel very peaceful when they look at it. Because when you come here, first thing, you don't hear your own language. You don't see things that you used to see. But when you go to the temple, you see the Buddhists and you hear the same dialect, Cantonese, Mandarins, Taiwanese, but we seem to see the same facial. We might not know each other, but we all feel the same, like, wow, this is a big family. We make new friends. We learn that this is a small world. We all have the same belief, and we all have almost the same knowledge in Buddhism, and we have found that we make a lot of friends and we feel comfort.
It's interesting for me to hear you mention two different things. One is the family, so people come here and to find, oh, we are like a big family. And then on the other hand, you mention people from many different Asian countries.
Yes.
Like, yeah, who are the people coming here, and these people from different countries, how do you think they come to find a family together at this temple?
Well, we find this, we are at the family as a temple because we all believe in Buddhism. We are all Asians. We are live in America. So we are all a new immigrant. We all left our country, go to a new place to start our new life. But we're very fortunate that we can go to a temple and we saw something very familiar. Is the homey things. This is kind of like you go home because it's far away. Even you take an airplane, it take you 24 hours or 16 hours. It's too far away. So prefer to go to the temple. It's only 1 or 2 hours. It's much more easier.
Then I have a follow-up question. Between Daolen Buddha temple as a place,
yes,
and Sifu as the leader, which one do you think is more important for attracting so many people?
It doesn't matter where it is. You still have to have a leader, and the leader have to organize, and the people have to help the leader. Just like in the country, you have a president. In the temple, you have to have the Sifu, and she will guide. Maybe you think her way is not the way I like it, but it has to be rule and regulations. Even you go to a house, you have your parents. They is the one to guide you. You cannot do whatever you want in the temple. For example, you cannot bring meat into Daolen Buddhist temple. That is the rule. She just followed the footsteps of the Buddhist teaching. Sifu is just like a teacher to guide us.
In your how many years coming to the temple, how has this experience make your life different?
Well, went to the temples. I think it's 34 years, 32, 34 years. I don't remember exactly, but it's changing me a lot. I met a lot of different people. I changed a lot by letting myself go. When I look at things, it's not only when I look at it. I really have to, when you see it, you just see the survey. You have to learn how to look. Every story have two sides. And if you don't calm yourself down, then you see things only one way. You will aggravate yourself. You will make people sad because you don't think twice before you talk. I learned a lot about it. Every time I get angry or not happy, and I remember that the Buddhist teaching is when you're angry, you hurt yourself, nobody else. So you might as well let it go. So I learned a lot. I try to not to be angry all the time or look at things in a different way. I calm myself down a lot after I went to the temple. And I know that everybody have their own way of looking at things. People don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with them. But if we can solve the problem in a way that is better than arguing and angry.
You mentioned the difficulty in life, but the very fundamental experience of being a refugee at the refugee camp time, how did you relate to Buddhism? Or is that the reason why you wanted to come to the Buddhist temple in the first place?
Well, as the refugee, every day we don't know who's going to accept us, who's going to take us. So we only pray. In Malaysia, in the refugee camps where I stayed, they have a temple too.
Because, a Buddhist temple?
Yeah, Buddhist temple. And they have church. They build next to each other because it's a small island. It's no conflict. If you make a right turn, you go to the temple. If you make a left turn, you go to church. But we have no conflict. Everybody is a refugee. We pray for it. Because as the boat people, on the way out, we saw dead people. We're very fortunate. We have our life. So we're not going to fight about the religions. You believe your God, I believe my Buddhism. We're working well in the refugee camp. No fighting for that. Everybody go to pray. That first thing, we're very thankful for the Buddhists that we have a blessing that we still have our life. The second thing, we pray that we're going to leave that island very soon. We hope that we can have whoever country going to pick us up, we're going to go. We have no choice. We sit there every day to wait. I live in a refugee camp for 2 years. It's a very tough time. So when we get here, we very appreciate. I keep believing Buddhism. I always believe that the Buddhists keep eyes on us. That's why I go to the temple.
What kinds of practice do you do now as a Buddhist?
Well, chanting.
Do you chant at your home?
Yes, I do chanting in my house every day. I try to pick a time for chanting for an hour. If I'm not lazy, I will do meditations for half hour. That's my limitation for meditations, half hour. And if I can sit my body for half hour not moving. It's not difficult. But if my mind can sit for half hour not willing it somewhere else, that is difficult. Sitting the body is not tough meditations. You're mindful, be peaceful, don't wandering around, jumping like a monkey in the jungle. That is a very difficult time.
What do you chant and what kind of meditation you do? Is there a particular kind of sutra or ritual that you chant?
Amito Jing.
Oh,
Yes, I love it the most. When I first read that sutra, I feel it's so beautiful praise. Just like when our life, I want to find a place peaceful to live. If I pass away, I still want to go a peaceful place to live. Am I going to get there? I don't know. I pray because it's so beautiful. In that sutra say that the prayer is so comfy and calm, and I feel that if I pass away, because of Buddhism, I believe that my spiritual can go there. Am I going there? I have no clue. I'm still alive. I don't know. So that's why I have to practice every day and try to calm my mind down to the meditation, because at the last minute I have to go, then have to calm myself before I can go. Mm-hmm. And I have to willing to let myself go. If not, then it's very tough. It's like all my practice going to be waste.
Thank you. It sounds like that's the hope that you hope for everybody who visits the temple. That's why you help them.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to ask you something less Buddhist. If I call you, oh, Karen, you're Asian American, how do you feel like that?
Well, I will tell you that I'm Chinese. My roots is Chinese. And I have American citizenship. It doesn't mean that I become Americans. You cannot change that. My root is always Chinese. I have American citizenship. I live in America. You can say that I'm American. It's just like when people celebrate holiday. The Jewish holiday, they're always Jewish. Even they born here. 3 or 4 generations. Italian. You cannot say them Italian Americans. They are Americans. But when they celebrate their holiday, they call Italian holiday. It's just like the same thing. Me, Chinese, I celebrate my Chinese holiday. But I'm here. I'm American citizens. So I'm American. It's no such thing Asians, Americans.
You're both Chinese and American.
Yes. You cannot say that Chinese American. My root is never changed. It's just like Italian, Jewish, they never changed. Even they born here, they're American too. But you ask them, are you American? Yeah, but I'm Jewish. Oh, yeah, I'm Italian. Oh, yeah, I'm Irish. Just like the way I am. I taught my kid the same way. It doesn't matter where you're born. Your root is your root. You're only born in different country. You are their citizens. And you have the right to carry out where you live that citizenship.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.